Hi everyone, I'm back with another video, and today I would like to talk about, are you afraid of your own mind? At Melimar Center Holistic Healing and Coaching, we do breathwork, as you might know. And the interesting thing about breathwork is that, at least the breathwork we do, which is the conscious connected breathwork, this kind of breathwork falls into the category of the holotropic breathwork. And holotropic breathwork started with Stanislav Grof, who is a Czech guy, same like me, and he was essentially experimenting with LSD in like the 1960s. And what happened was that as there was this war on drugs in America, and he was currently doing his practice in America, he was actually a psychologist trying to research how does the psychedelics and specifically LSD affect the human brain and mind, and he was really into that. And so he was doing his own experiments with that, but then the war on drugs came and LSD became illegal. So he was not able to get it anymore, and he was not able to continue with his research. And so he started to think about his experiments, and he observed that whenever people were experiencing those psychedelic effects of LSD, they were breathing in a certain way, or they had a certain breathing pattern, right? So he kind of thought about that, and Stanislav realized that people who are high on LSD, if you will, always breathe very, very empowering way. Like they do deep breaths and very fast, and there's no break between. There is no pause between the inhale and the exhale, and that's the conscious connected breathwork we facilitate at Milimar. But the point is that he realized that those people all breathe that way, and so he started to experiment with the breath and discovered that you can actually activate the same psychedelic effects, if you will, on your mind and on your brain as the LSD would. And he discovered that simply just the breath has the power to produce body's DMT and other chemicals which stimulate the brain to go into the altered state of mind, an altered state of consciousness. So he started to experiment with that, and he actually developed the holotropic breathwork. And that's how it all started. And he started to use this kind of breathwork to have people heal from trauma and have them emotional release and all kind of other interesting stuff. I don't really want to get into that in this video, but what I'm trying to say here is that this is very interesting stuff, that the discovery that the breath actually has the power to take us into the altered state of consciousness. And that brings me to that question, or the topic of this video is that, are you afraid to enter your altered state of consciousness? Are you afraid of your own mind? Because a lot of people I've talked to, they say that they can't really do. They tried mushrooms, or they tried to smoke weed, or they tried ayahuasca. Pardon me, and they say that it was not really for them, because the things they saw and things they realized and visualized were so crazy for them, or too much, or they were really either scared of it or really confused, and it was just too much to handle, right? So essentially what was happening for those people was that they entered the altered state of of the mind, altered state of consciousness, and they got scared of it, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, that's pretty much normal for all of us. When we enter something new, first we are scared of it. But what I'm trying to point out here is that when we are afraid of what we experience in our own mind, essentially means that we are afraid of the thoughts and beliefs and things and words and pictures and images we hold in our mind, right? Because your mind can only create something what it already seen or what it already experienced, and combine it into new things, if you will. Maybe even from some movies or horrors, or from your own experiences in your life. And the thing is that if someone says that I'm afraid of psychedelic experience, what they are saying essentially is that I'm afraid of my own mind, right? And this is something what really needs to be addressed, because our mind is essentially something what determines our experiences in our life, but the mind is also this powerful tool what helps us to access this world of imagination and fantasy and creativity, right? And it's this most powerful supercomputer who can process so many gigabytes of data just by looking outside, like just by looking, right? The brain has to constantly process so much data, way more than the most powerful computer we know today. So where am I going with this? My point is that we have this magnificent tool or machine or device, if you will, sitting right on our shoulders. So it would be really a shame to be afraid of it, right? Let me give you an analogy. So I call this a dirty closet. So I don't know if you had that at your home, or maybe you did, maybe you didn't, but imagine that you have a closet in your house where whenever you have a thing you don't know what to do with, you stuff it in there, right? And you close the closet. And you keep doing that over and over throughout the years, but eventually this closet is all full of stuff and like just dirty and really messy, and then you don't even know what's in there. And it even gets to the point where you're scared to open it, because if you open it, all the things are just gonna fall out and hit you in the face, and you have to deal with it, and you have to pick it up and clean it, and you might be just like freaked out about what is there, you know, like maybe 10 years old sandwich or a monster. I don't know. I'm just giving some funny examples, but the point is that this dirty closet is this subconscious mind of yours, right? So same as you would be afraid to open this closet, people who are afraid of psychedelic experiences or entering their subconscious mind or altered state of consciousness, they have this closet there in their mind and they are afraid to enter it, right? So the problem with this is that eventually it will catch up with us, right? Eventually these things will just start sticking out and coming out and falling out of this closet. We won't be able to put any more things in there because it's just too full. and we will be more and more scared of opening it, and essentially we wouldn't even know what's there, and at the end it will have this effect on our life and the way we think and we behave, that all these suppressed or stored things in that dirty closet can just explode back at us at some point, right? Imagine the door of the closet, it just can't hold the stuff in there anymore, and it just blows right open, and all the stuff is right there, all of it at the same time. So what that translates to our mind is that once we keep doing that with our mind, let's say someone could have really painful experiences from the childhood. Actually, most of us have experiences what hurt us in the childhood, and it could be just words or someone said something to us, and of course as a child we were not able to rationally filter it. We took it 100% personally and internalized it, and now it just sits in that closet and completely manifests in our life and in our mindset. But what I'm trying to say here is that it is really important to clean that closet, right? It's really important to open it and face what's there already and identify the stuff, what's sitting there, and clean it, organize it. That means that which means that by going to the altered state of consciousness or having a psychedelic experience, essentially, we can do that. We can at least open that closet. So the first step to be able to clean what's been sitting there and collecting there is actually opening the closet. And I know that's scary for most of people, and that's why most of people will never do any magic mushrooms or LSD or whatever it is. But I see it as a way, if this is used as a healing tool, not a tool to party or to just have this crazy psychedelic experience and just travel to different worlds. Like, you can have that too, and that's how most of people use all these drugs and medicine plants or all these mushrooms and simply anything what triggers the psychedelic experience, thus taking us to the subconscious mind or altered state of consciousness, thus opening the dirty closet, right? So this is really scary for most of people, but I think that it's really essential to do that in that controlled environment set up for healing, right? And most of people discover these things actually on a party, or someone gives them some mushrooms and say, oh, you're gonna have a great time, and they try it, they open the closet and they get freaked out to death, and they say they will never do it again, right? Especially people who have some traumatizing experiences in the past, and they suppressed it and they put it in that closet and they never want to see it again. So these substances just pull it all out and open that closet if you want it or not. So it's really important to do it in that safe space where we feel comfortable facing all the stuff what might be sitting stored there in that closet. And another thing I would mention about this is that the ones who are afraid of their subconscious mind and altered state of consciousness of all this psychedelic experience, the people who are afraid the most are the people who need to deal with this stuff the most, right? Because you might not realize that, but it will come back at you. It will come back at you later, and it will come in a way you don't want it to come, right? And that's a completely different thing than actually facing and addressing all this stuff when you want on your own terms in a safe space. And it's really something I would say almost everyone should do if you really think about it. It doesn't matter if you do it in a way that you use plant medicine, or you use mushrooms, or use LSD, or any other kind of stimulant. Of course, I prefer breathwork because you get the most control over breathwork. You can stop at any time, you can regulate it, and also it has no side effects. There is really nothing bad about it, and you can do it really easily just with your own breath, just breathing consciously in a specific way. And yeah, so I really think that everyone should really do this cleanup, if you will, because it really has this power to awaken us and open our mind and elevate our consciousness and take us out of our old unhealthy mindset and beliefs and patterns, and it brings us into a higher place where we are able to recognize what things don't really serve us anymore and what kind of person we would like to be in the future. And so it is really powerful, in my own opinion. It's something what I come across a lot, that most of the people just say that they will never do it, or it's really scary to them, or they tried once and it was scary and they don't want to do it ever again. But I think it's all about the setting and the intention, again, as I mentioned. So if it will be for healing, it could have, or it will have actually great benefits, because we can clean our mind and deal with the stuff there in a safe space, and that way it will not blow out at us at some point where the closet is too full, right? And so I started with breathwork, and I'm gonna go back to breathwork again. That's why when we do breathwork at Milimar, this is exactly what we do. We create a safe space where we help our clients and guide them to actually feel secure and safe to explore that closet and explore the subconscious mind. And it turns out to be a positive healing experience, releasing experience. And this is completely something else than uncontrolled experience on a party when someone takes some mushrooms, right? And so I wanted to mention that this is really important to do that. If someone, or if you are going through the same pattern in your life and you're constantly facing some hardships or things that cause you pain or suffering, it's probably because your closet is full and needs some cleaning, right? And you can either face it when it's gonna be full and you will just have to do it because there's no other way. It's gonna be just a matter of surviving, essentially, or you can do it ahead of the time in a safe, clean, secure space. And this is really something what will completely change the game. And yeah, I just wanted to talk a little bit about that, and I hope you guys found some interesting things in this video. And as usual, if you want to get in touch with me, or you want to learn more about us, learn more about Milimar Holistic Healing and Coaching, I'll leave all the links in the description below. And if you like this video and you would like to see more videos coming like this, please like and subscribe. That will mean a lot to me too. Of course, it helps. And as usual, have a wonderful day.